Are Kamala Khan and Emma Frost becoming BFFs? And just as important, are mutants somehow genetically connected to one of the Marvel Comics universe's most unlikely alien species? And more importantly, does this make mutants aliens? What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're gonna be talking about Ms. Marvel, the New Mutant, #2, written by Iman Vellani and Sabir Pirzada, with art by Carlos Gomez and Adam Gorham, and color by Eric Arciniega. Now, this issue doesn't have a whole heap of a lot of like groundbreaking, earth-shattering things to talk about. Really, the only thing that I really want to spend any significant amount of time talking about is the revelation of who the Quotey Fingers Cosmic Surfer truly is, the very same entity that we saw revealed in Kamala Khan's dreams in the previous issue, and it's none other than something that she made up in a fanfic. I'm not lying to you. Which, to be fair, it actually tracks and it makes a complete and total amount of sense, because something like of that magnitude, a character who seems to wield the power of the Silver Surfer as well as Doctor Strange, it's something that only Kamala would make up in her mind. Granted, we actually have seen some crazy ish like this if you go back no further than Infinity Wars. But that's neither here nor there. I'm actually joking. That's not really the thing I'm here to talk about. The thing I'm here to talk about is the connection between the Chitauri and mutants. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking that, you know, I'm gonna talk about some crazy retcon where they've now revealed that the mutants are actually secretly Chitauri this entire time. No, but there's a new connection that has been revealed that explains why Orchis was experimenting on Chitauri in the first place. As it turns out in this issue, Sync discovers that mutants share the same neurochemical makeup as Chitauri. More specifically, the neurochemical transmitters that both species have are ridiculously similar to one another, with the only difference being that the Chitauri's neurochemical transmitters can output a higher level of electricity. And this actually comes up organically a couple of different times, because as we learn, what Orchis is trying to do is figure out how to jam the X-Men's ability to communicate with one another, whether it's by some kind of radio technological matter or if it's through telepathy. Now, this bit of information regarding the Chitauri's neurochemical transmitters should not actually come as much of a surprise, considering that the Chitauri are a hive mind species. This is something we even saw in the MCU. The Chitauri have a natural born ability to communicate with a hive mind intelligence. So it's actually really not that surprising when you really sit down and look at it that this is the case. And this actually opens the door to some really interesting questions, because we've learned so much about the X-Men over the years that, you know, initially it was of the belief that mutants were the creations of Celestials, and that technically is still actually the case. But then we also learned later, and this was always kind of more rumor and conjecture up until recently in Kieran Gillen's Judgment Day, where it was revealed that mutants are in fact deviants, and not just deviants, but deviants themselves are actually mutants themselves. So that long-time nemesis of the Eternals was revealed to in fact be very much no different than the mutants that we have been following all these years. So the addition of the Chitauri, you know, sharing some kind of similar genetic makeup with mutants, is not really that far out of the spectrum of possibility, considering that Celestials are responsible for creating pretty much almost all life in the Marvel Comics universe in one way, shape, form, or fashion or another. So the idea that there is an alien species out there of the millions and millions of sentient life out in the world, of course, at some point, it would stand to reason that the Celestials might repeat a formula or 2 or 3 or 4. So yeah, this really isn't that much of a shocker to me. And I know it's a lot to take in, and while it may be hard to believe that mutants are in some way connected to one of the weirdest alien species, and I would even dare say one of the most, I don't even like using this word very often, but mid alien species in all of the Marvel Comics universe, you know what is not mid is you clicking that like button. We're this far into the video, so obviously you're still here. You must like the video at least a little bit. So go ahead and click that like button and let YouTube know that you could be anywhere on the internet, yet you chose to be here and click that button. Also, if you want to keep up with all my coverage on Ms. Marvel, the New Mutant, as well as other X-Men related content and other comics from Marvel, DC, and wherever else, make sure you click that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you don't miss a damn thing. Anyway, back to the video. Kamala Khan is getting a lot of respect in this issue. We see at multiple instances where Iman Vellani and Sabir Pirzada are really bringing it home, the wide-eyed optimism of Kamala Khan, but also pairing it with the cold, hard cynicism and sobering wisdom of Emma Frost. And I actually really like these two characters together. Their dynamic is very interesting to me. It kind of makes you wonder, what could happen if we got a new, like, full-on Ms. Marvel ongoing where she is fully dialed into being a mutant, and we got to keep seeing Emma Frost coming around and giving her the pep talks, giving her the cold, sober, facts don't care about your feelings dialogue that Emma Frost often likes to give. And I would love to see that. I actually would love to see that, because while Kamala Khan is, no huge stan of Emma Frost by any stretch of the imagination, I feel like you could really get some level of character development between these two characters that would be very similar to instances we've seen with Kamala Khan and Captain Marvel, where these two characters play off of each other particularly well, and they have really interesting character moments between each other. I feel like we could get something very similar between Kamala Khan and Emma Frost. I think it would be really interesting. Honestly, if Marvel were smart, I think they would lean into it going forward, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like both characters really have something to offer in terms of development, because I feel like while Emma Frost may not admit it out loud, I think just based on the dialogue that we have seen these two characters share with one another, especially considering Kamala Khan's age and how Emma Frost feels about losing children, in this case teenagers, but still children, to anti-mutant sentiment and massacres and all of that stuff. Just knowing how Emma Frost feels deep down about all of these things, it would make sense that she would see Kamala Khan as like the last person alive that she can look out for, because for the most part, a lot of the younger X-Men and mutants, as far as she is aware of, are dead. And right now, this is her opportunity to step up and try to protect what is ostensibly, in her eyes at this moment, the future of mutant kind. And I feel like the two characters could rub off on each other too, and I think in the best ways humanly possible. I feel like Emma Frost could toughen Kamala Khan up. Not that I want her to be toughened up too much. I feel like her kind of being a softie is what makes her appealing as a character, but I would like to see maybe just a little smidge, just a taste of Emma Frost rub off on Kamala Khan, just to give her a little bit more, just tiny bit of cynicism, but also have Kamala Khan rub off on Emma in terms of making her see that there is actually hope for the future, that wide-eyed optimism doesn't always lead to bad things. And like I said, the two could learn so much from one another. We also, speaking of Emma Frost, we do get a little more insight into what's going on between Tony and Emma, which, to be fair, if you check out Jerry Duggan's Invincible Iron Man number 10, which is also out this week, you'll get more of that there as well. So this is really just kind of playing off of what was already happening, things we already knew about. And as I said before, with the marriage of Emma Frost and Tony Stark, it's actually not so much the marriage of Tony Stark and Emma Frost, and more the marriage of Tony Stark and one of Emma Frost's alter egos. That said, I do wonder what's going to be happening next, because we do know that Orchis has figured out exactly where Ms. Marvel is on the Orchis campus. They have bugged her with one of their micro drones. They're going to be able to detect exactly where she is the moment she falls asleep. And while we know Iron Man is kind of keeping tabs on Kamala right now using his new stealth armor, it's safe to say that Orchis is either going to try to attack Ms. Marvel while she's in a dormant state, or what could also likely happen is maybe Omega Sentinel in some way, shape, form, or fashion tries to enter Kamala's dreams and attack her that way. That is, while not the most direct way to do it, it wouldn't surprise me if this somehow wound up being the case. But right now, Kamala has actually been able to make contact with the Cosmic Surfer, the fanfic character that she created in her mind, and this is what's going to help her burrow down more and deeper into her memories to figure out what this crazy dream she's been having for the last 10 weeks is building up to. Something that I'm not even 100% sure what it could be, but I do think that at the root of it is going to be Ms. Marvel finally discovering what her actual mutant power is. And as I said in my previous video, I think that whatever her mutant power turns out to be, it is very likely going to be the same powers that we see her wielding in the MCU, the ability to create hard-like constructs and that sort of stuff. I feel like that's going to be what that is. And who knows, maybe she'll even gain a new mutant name, but honestly, I think she'll be fine just being Ms. Marvel. I do like the idea of her, talking about, who she is as a person, her identity as a character in the Marvel Comics universe, referring to herself as a Pakistani American Inhuman. It was something that it was kind of extra, but it makes sense. It's on brand for Kamala Khan. And I kind of feel like, yeah, she could be the perfect character to walk between all of those worlds. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, do the YouTube thing, like, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure you tap that notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any of the videos I put out. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, let me know what you thought about Ms. Marvel, the New Mutant #2. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.